Yes, I am.
Oh, wewe unywa chai badala ya maji. Wewe ni chai umayani.
Meka kama yako. Learning from the best. I am gonna.
So welcome back to our chit chat, and this girl of mine has 75 questions she wants to ask. So far, she has asked none, and she told me I have questions. I'm waiting for those questions.
No, they're not questions. They're conversation.
No, you said you had questions, so ask.
Sasa si dad, sasa si questions na coming in form of conversation. Sasa I've already asked.
So that
nishauliza moja.
But tuseme hapa kuna question, ndio na mark.
Oh, una mark.
Jubre yangu ile lock kwa questions.
Aya, sawa. So dad, sitauliza hiyo hata si sahihi.
But also niulize stories za elections.
Dad.
Usiniulize stories za elections cause nilikuwa niko elected. So kwa vile siko kwa hiyo ballot, sitaki kusikia stories za elections. Hata si watch news, hata sijui kama siko kwa ballot, then anyway.
How about?
Nime catch feelings. Like
Umejam.
But we can talk about.
We can.
You know, don't be limited.
Sasa jumeguzia. Si tuiongee tu kidogo saizi. Sasa that we had high hopes in you, yeah?
Okay.
And then you were the first candidate, presidential candidate, kupewa sasa ruhusa, now you can run, you can vie.
Okay.
And then sasa kidogo tunasikia withdrawn courts, doing nini story. So kwanza imeisha, you know court case we are not supposed to talk about it.
How can I answer your questions that you should be telling me? Because we agreed from the beginning that I was not going to be a president for me.
Yes.
I was going to be a president for you.
Yes.
So I was your president. So you should be concerned about me being your president. So those questions you are asking me to answer, you should answer them. What happened? That's what I should be asking you. What happened? I presented myself. I was cleared by IBC to run as president. Then 6 days later, I'm told, by the way, your guys can even get that clip, that I'm no longer on the ballot. Previously, yeah, I was clear. So up to now, hata mimi nashangaa kwani kuliendaje. But long and short of the story, remember what I told you from the beginning, and I told you and your young fellows, your friends, okay, that listen, I'm not running for the presidency because it's a do or die. I'm running for the presidency for you because you need a better country. You need a smart country that is responsive, knowing that the bulk of our people that we are leading are, you know, young people, and so therefore we should listen to them more than talk to them. We should ask them, you know, what can we do to make their lives better in tomorrow, in future, than telling them what they need to do. So that is what we agreed, that I'm running because of you guys.
But we are not in power too.
But you are.
The IBC.
You're in power. My job as your father was to present myself to IBC to be on a candidate, which we did successfully.
Yes.
And which, as you've seen the clips and everything else, we were prepared. Did we have a manifesto that is smart? Yes, we did. Now, the powers that you have as young people, and that's what we were counting on, is for you to go and vote for your father. Okay? Yes. So I know that bit, you are disappointed because your father is not on the ballot. The guys who are in the ballot ni babu. Na ni sawa. Na pia wanajitafutia. Unajua, at the end of the day ni kujitafutia wanajitafutia. So for purposes of record, there's something that IBC will never tell us, and probably something that we will never know. Why they cleared us and then they revoked. Now, the mystery surrounding that revocation, because the law is very clear. If IBC had a challenge with us from the beginning, they scrutinized our papers, then they should have told us that you lack this, go and bring it. But they know deep down we had everything they needed. Hence, you're cleared to run. 6 days later, whatever happened, we all don't know, but someday we will know. But from speculation, from what I can tell you, is, what do you think? Why do you think your father was cleared? And then 6 6 days later, his nomination is revoked. What goes through your mind? I want to hear you now. I want you to tell me what goes through your mind. What do you think happened?
From a young person's perspective.
No, you as my daughter. Not
Me as your daughter.
I don't want
Dirty
anyone's
politics.
opinion. Your opinion.
Dirty politics.
What do you mean by dirty politics?
Uh,
And yet to catch feelings, fungua tu roho, hata change position, hata keti poa, uonge. Start to think, nataka tu ukwe nacho. What do you think? Onyenyewe, what do you think? Your dad is cleared. The first candidate to be cleared. Then 6 days later, your dad nomination is revoked under mysterious circumstances that he didn't have
certificates
as a degree certificate. So if he didn't have the degree certificate at the beginning, then why did they clear it? Is it something that they discovered like 6 days later? Oh my God, he didn't have. So if that's true, then whose mistake is it? Is it your father?
Of course not.
Okay, so catch feelings. What went through your mind? What did you feel?
For me, generally was dirty politics. That's the word for me. I was like, somebody who feels that you are a threat to them. Was like, hey, this guy, kuna vile kidogo, you know, besides being a political person, you are a sweetheart to many from Kitambu. So kidogo unge divide the votes, ati kungepata maybe zote, unge divide the votes, which is, you know, na kuna mtu fulani, sijui ni nani, we can't speculate or throw names over there. But definitely, this is someone who is running for that position. Wenye hakuwa anataka.
But listen, ni wanne. Wale wako kwa ballot ni wanne. Surely we can know who was afraid of your father. Out of the four, right?
But you can't mention.
No. Let's just go in order. Do you think Wajakoya was afraid of me?
Of course not. Yako na squad yake.
Yako na snakes na ladders.
Yanakata manini za haina.
Do you think Nani was okay? That's Wajakoya. Wajakoya, all the best, by the way. Do you think Mwaura was afraid of me? Do you?
You never know.
Do you think? Okay, that's the answer right there. Now, do you think Ruto was afraid of me?
Honestly, no. He already has, and Raila, they already have their.
Yes.
So standing how kona any beef.
So they were not afraid of me?
That's what it.
Okay, so you said Wajakoya was not afraid of me. You said Mwaura was not afraid of me. Now you say Ruto was not afraid of me. Now you say Raila was not afraid of me. So who was afraid of me?
I don't know who's being used to fight you and your success.
Okay. Let's leave it at that. That's why I told you from the beginning, it's a mystery that we will never be able to answer. Although patterns can tell.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody somewhere was not happy with us being on the ballot. But what they forgot is that the ballot happens after every 5 years. So just because you think we were not on the ballot in 2022, what makes you think we won't be on the ballot in 2027? Because our aspirations still stand. Because I still think you're young as my daughter, and you still need a smart president. You still need a president who is responsive. You need a president who thinks about you in the real sense about you, not what he wants, not what he thinks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's someone who has experience in this, you know, you've watched politics and all that as you grew up. When you presented your papers, because I know you have the papers, right?
Thank you.
I know you have the papers, and I'm sure you went to the court no conscious papers. What was their response? They still said you don't have the papers. I must say they said they are not a credible.
To be honest, this is where it becomes like what I've done for the longest to make you guys laugh. You know, just comedy. This is where it turned out to be comedy. The law is very clear on the qualifications of a presidential candidate, which by virtue of being clear, we had.
Yes.
The argument that your father should be the argument that your father should be holding a physical document. To them, your father, whether he has gone through university, whether he is learned, whether he's intelligent, so long as he brings that physical certificate, they have no problem to us.
Yes.
They have no problem. And that's all they're asking of me. They knew that my graduation is in November of 2022. This is
July.
May. This is May
Oh,
of
that's fine.
2022. So that means it's a couple of months, but I have sufficient evidence showing that I've gone through the process of earning a degree.
Oh, you never had the physical certificate yet?
Certificate. Now, what does the law talk about? The law talks about the person running for that office should be a degree holder. Do I hold a degree? Yes. Do I hold a physical degree certificate? No. So what does that law envision? What is envisioned in that law? Now that's a question that has gone to High Court, and it was defined that a degree is so long as, and that extract you can show people, at your post-production.
Yeah.
This is the definition of a degree. Did your father have that definition? Yes, he did. And therefore?
And that's why you were cleared.
Yes.
In the beginning.
Yes. So, we can talk about this story forever, but one thing must remain. An office bearer of the magnitude of a president must be an educated person.
Yes.
Now, it's up to you to ask whether your father is educated. And that's what you deserve as a president.
Yes.
Not as a certificated president. Because what stopped your father from going to some shady university and buying a certificate? Nothing. You know what, my little girl? This is what I will tell you. Whoever didn't want your father on the ballot in 2022 may seem to have succeeded. But he forgot one thing, that there will be another election in another five years, in 2027. And your father will still be there. And your father still has aspirations and dreams. And if there's anything we've learned from Raila Odinga, is that you can run as many times until you become. So I am not worried.
You can run for a lifetime.
Yeah, of course, it's a career.
It's a career.
Let me see, just a minute. Hello? Yeah. Okay. Okay, ndakupigia, niko kwa interview. Ndakupigia. Haya, asante. Poa. So the rest is, we, don't worry. We are still here. This is our country. And your father will still, be there. So don't be worried. Don't be upset. Go out, if this interview goes before elections. I wouldn't tell you that I'm aligned to anyone, because I was running against their ideologies. I was not running against Raila. Neither was I running against Ruto or Wajakoya or Maure. I was running on the principles of providing an alternative leadership for this country that is genuine and focusing on the prosperity of our people. So that will not stop. That will not end. Because it will still be there.
Yeah.
So all I can tell young people, exercise your democratic right, by the way, for 2022, whether your father is on the ballot or not. But just exercise that democratic right. Go out and vote. Whatever the outcome of the results of 2022, well and good. But participate. Go out and vote.
Yeah.
Your father will tell you, if I'm not on the ballot, don't go and vote. That's not what your father will tell you. Your father will tell you it's your democratic right to go and vote. So out of the 4 guys who are there, go out there and make up your mind and look at who has a semblance, of a manifesto that is closer to what your father would stand for, and vote for that person. Yeah. Yeah, regardless of their name or how long they have been in the political scene or how novice they are. Yeah, that's what I'll tell you as young people. Yeah. Please don't lose the opportunity of exercising your democratic right to vote.
But Dad, why the presidential seat? Let me ask you this one.
Let me ask you a question. Because I know why you're my daughter, so I know how you're thinking. And I can see how slow you're thinking. So I need to help you catch up. Your father is 47.
Yes.
Your father has been in public space. Your father has worked in state house. Your father has worked in high government level, policy level. Why would you want your father at 47 to go and start being an MCA?
Oh, okay. You got me there.
Okay, exactly. And let us be very clear. We're not downplaying the role of an MCA. What your father is trying to tell you is that it's not about me. It's not about my quest as a person. So natafuta kale kakiti na yenye naweza kuwa.
Yeah.
You get, if that was the thinking that your father would hold, basi ningetafuta seat yenye na think ni easy. By the way, the easiest seat for your father to become was the president. That's the easiest, and that's why we think about it. And we will still become president. Because your father's practiced to be president before. Your father's been president before. Yeah, so,
if you know, you know.
Yeah,
If you know,
and,
you know.
and we will show them why. And your father's worked with presidents. So why would your father now go to, struggle to replace people who have been spending time with the people?
Yeah.
An MCA is a person who's been spending a lot of time with the people at the ground and requires to represent them. Your father's been spending time at policy level and at state house. He would want to replace the president. The guy who's at the MCA, who I look forward to working with, is a person that I really want him to be the MCA because he has connected with the people at the ground level. I'm connecting with the people at the national level and at policy level.
Yeah.
So each one of us is cut out to do something.
Yeah.
So it's not about convenience. It's not about, hey, enyewe life wanga inaanza hivi, you say it.
Yeah.
Some will tell you how to get to the 4th floor. You need to go by the staircase. And some will tell you, go to the elevator and press 4. So your father in this case is ready for national politics.
Yeah.
And that's what you would want your father to be, the
Of course.
president, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Tunataka kuingia state house. Tuko already. I saw that for those who do not know, we are coming for your graduation, definitely. Kwanza mimi sikosi. Hata ukikosa invite kama mtu wako, mimi I'll be there front row cheering you on. So, what did you pursue in campus and campo gani? For those who may not know.
I've had the privilege of going to several universities with a quest to finish my degree, courtesy of you, because as people can see, I have a daughter who's over 20. And that means if you remove 20 from my 47, it takes you to what?
27.
To 27. It means I had the opportunity to finish my degree more than 25 years ago. But because of this, being born early, you start having other responsibilities that are not just school. Start taking care of them. So with taking care of the family and making sure that the family is solid and we have a family, we have, we have given you a future, then I had to make very tough decisions. Do I bring you up or do I, pursue my self-interest to become a degree holder at that point? I didn't need to. So I needed to bring you up to be where you are today. So that was Kenyatta University. Did I try to find other universities that could accommodate your father who's working at the same time, raising a family, at the same time, you have to hustle and find things happening so you can take care of the family. You've got a wife, you've got children, and so I needed a university that allowed me to be a student, allowed me to be a parent, allowed me to be a worker, allowed me to, every program needed to accommodate me. And that's how I ended up in a private university that is chartered, that is Daystar, that then enabled me to juggle between taking care of you, taking care of your siblings, taking care of your mother, taking care of myself, and taking care of the investments, at the same time go to school. And so that is why I ended up in Daystar, and gave me a platform and opportunity to, more than anything else, a flexible institution that allowed me to do everything in one, and allowed me to also go to class and learn and become.
Yeah.
So for those who need to, which I am sure they have followed me before, the quest for education is not just an institution. Did I go all the way to Australia even to try and become a student? Yes, I did. Did I go to even as far as, negotiating and having a discussion with Zetech University? I did. Did I try to go to the University of Nairobi so I can have my credit transfer from KU to Nairobi University Department of Fine Art? Yes, I did. So it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a beautiful journey to finally completing that. And that is for those who think that your father is not dedicated. Yes.
So Dad.
Or do I need evidence of being in campus? Yes, I can give you pictures. Yeah, this particular picture was in my room, in room 169 at Kenyatta University. There it is.
Oh, tutatupia tuweke hapa.
Yes. This picture is with your sister when she was like a year old, outside Kenyatta University after we had gone to class together because the mom was in class and I needed also to go to class, so I needed to go with your sister to class.
Oh my God.
So this is my picture of as a student with your mother and a beautiful daughter at that point, and we've had a beautiful there are no regrets. Yes, so I'm proud to be where I am today.
Oh, thank you for the sacrifices, though.
Graduation is for every person who has wanted to pursue everything at the same time, and it kind of seems difficult. It's not about, listen, when you try to become a student and responsibilities of life check in, honestly, I would encourage anyone, stop for a minute. Focus on the responsibilities of life. Class by the own as a rule. And that's what your father has taught you. That at some point I needed to stop so that your sister can go through school and become somebody. Then after she graduates, then I can go to class. And I'll still do that over and over again. And that's what I would encourage anyone out there. Listen, usikwame, ukiona shule inakulemea, juu responsibilities of life ni more. Fanya iweke pause. Enda shughulika na maisha. Ikishafika level fulani, rudi class. Hakuna emergency. Hata mimi hakuna emergency. Just because you think this year I didn't have a physical degree so I can't be president, who told you? We would have that certificate in due course. Na tutaiphotocopy, kila mtu akae na copy, hata tusipoteze, hata original twende tuweke kwa baba. Isipotee, 2027 inakaa.
So Dad, ebu ngoja kidogo. So vile ulianza ridiculous na when you blew up story ya kumimic Moi, Arap Moi, may his soul rest in peace. Tunasanga the honorable ama mtu anasemanga nini?
Marehemu.
Tai. Hayati. Kiswahili ilikuja na meli. Hata si kizungu. So,
meli up to where? Unaona meli ilitoka Mombasa ikafika Nairobi. So wacha kutumia phrases zenye hata ziwaka. Ilikuja na meli kwa wapi? Kutoka Mombasa, sema ilikuja na meli mpaka
Mombasa ikaishi hapo.
Mtu akatoa Mombasa kwa matatu,
akateleport
Nairobi. Wacha siasa.
Aya, so
ngoja kidogo.
Sawa.
Sinimalize interview kidogo na kupigia praise. Tafadhali. Asante. Unasema?
So when you blew up, sasa your time ya kumimic Moi, all the good things that you are doing.
Sasa ndio unapika. Hiyo ni food. Lakini hai affect sound sio?
Niko tu hapa.
Najua kuna ubao.
Mimi niko njaa mbaya. But sawa.
Hapo unakaa.
Mtako na njaa na kangaje. Aya, so when you were mimicking, when you blew up, because there's a point, of course, you had your breakthrough point. Your time uliko show and roll in.
Hiyo swali ni poa sana, yani unauliza, yani sensitive.
Yeah, very. Uliko show and roll. Ama first you started by working and then now you went to campo after high school.
Nilikia campo.
Imejikila after high school. Hebu niambie Dad, hebu niambie.
Kama unataka kusikia story. Na mama yako anafakwambia hizi vitu. Cheki number 1. Nilikuwa Mumias Boys Primary. Western Kenya. Hiyo siku my friend tulikuwa tunasoma, tunawaka hard. Tulikuwa tunaitwa National School based on quota system. Na ni vile umechop, yani na vile umepita. So nikatoka Mumias Primary. Class 8 nikafanya class 8. 1990. Hebu pigeni hesabu. So tupige calculation 1990. Nimemaliza before niingie Mumias Boys. Nilikuwa Itibo Primary School.
Ibi what?
Itibo.
Yes,
ITIBO. Itibo Primary. That's where I was, by the way. Kani Itibo ilikuwa noma sana. Unajua field yetu ilikuwa hivi. So tukicheza soka, field iko tilted hivi. Saka mko on the other side, mna score more. You are asema down. So second half mna tilt hivi. Hao wasi wana catch up.
Dadu kwa kutopa?
Gani?
Sorry, niyo.
Umetoa?
Iko fiti.
Okay.
Pole. Oh, hebu fanya hivi tena.
Si utoe.
Hapa. Sawa.
Thanks. So, hiyo ni Tibo Primary. Nikakuja Mumias Boys. Nikafanya mpaka class 8 1990. Wale wanataka picha. Pia tunaweza
wapatia. Achana na watu. Sisi tunakuamini.
Nilikuwa nafanya acrobatics.
Ulikuwa flexible.
Unaona? Then nikatoka hapo, nikakuja Lenana School.
Sipole.
So, Lenana School ni national school. So, uishiangi tu Lenana School juu unaishia tu. Ni lazima upite. So, nikatoka hapo ndio nikaenda KU. So, hiyo life yote si shule.
Yes.
Then nikatoka KU, nikaenda job.
Ulifanya KU, ulipursue?
Mimi mwalimu wa fine art.
Oh, you pursued education?
Yes,
fine art.
Okay. Double fine art kwanza.
Si sorry.
Ndio nikatransfer hizo credits nikakuja Desta, mwalimu wa business na computer science. So sasa hivi niko hivi. Kukienda vibaya kama sitakuwa president nitakuwa na TSC number. I will be in a class near you. Mwalimu Walter.
Utafunzwa na president wewe.
Ni mwalimu Walter. Kama kutaenda vibaya sitakuwa mwalimu number 1 wa country. Vile moja alikuwa anasema mwalimu number 1. Nitakuwa kwa class. Nawafundisha computer na wanafundisha business. Because hiyo ni essence ya life. So masomo aishi. Bado nataka kufanya masters, nifanye degree nyingine, nifanye PhD, nataka kudai smart. Nataka kudai kama baba yako anaitwa Dr. Walter Mongare.
But itafika. But unajua watu wengi wanadhani uko na PhD. That's true that, right?
Kudani hapo.
Wanadhani yangu uko na PhD watu wengi.
Hivyo wasijue sina.
Wasijue. Wasikukujia tena. Aya. So Dad, you've had so many achievements.
And that's why nilikupeleka kwa shule usome Kizungu, ukaanza kusema Kiswahili imekuja na meli.
Nikaanza kuchoma.
She means accomplish.
Dad, vile kuna kai YouTube nitakurushia tu fi yote. Nisikuwa na deni.
Spell accomplishment up or down. Yeah.
Aya, so you've had so many achievements. So what you do?
Hey! Accomplishment is the same. Okay. Anyway.
Yes, you have accomplished a lot. So, what's your biggest achievement?
Look at you. That's my biggest achievement. Look at you. Having a beautiful daughter. Having a beautiful, having a family. Seeing you guys grow up, becoming a people of substance. That's the best that life can give me. And having a beautiful family, seeing my children grow up, become some people, that to me is everything that I can ask for. Yeah.
And in your career?
In my career, I'm not yet done. Wait, I become president. Then I'll tell you whether my accomplishment is major. Relax, bado niko hapa another 31 years. Siraila ko 78. So 78 minus 47. Hebu piga kwa hiyo calculator. Me? 78 minus 47. Ndio si calculator. Ubaeni ndio hiyo mental math.
78 times minus
78 minus 47 31.
Sawa.
Mental math. Sasa mnaanza kutafuta calculator. So ni kwa hapa muda.
Sawa.
So sio na stress. Ni kwa hapa muda. Dad is here for.
Dad is okay.
Yeah.
And we are here with you.
Hata umezaa uko na watu hii.
Kwa familia yangu pia. Tunakupea kura zote.
Haki na unavumilia ule mzee atakuwa husband yako. Yani. Wewe ni mtoto wangu lakini.
Najua nakuona. Kwanza umenichongwa kucha, nani amelipa?
Nani?
Huyo mtu. Unanichongwa kucha?
Yeye alilipa hizo makucha.
Si wewe ulikataa kulipa kucha. Unaniambianga kata kucha.
Ngoja. Sasa hiyo unakulaje ugali?
Sitakuonyesha tu. So unaonanga vile nakulanga hivi.
Na kuna ugali. Ningetaka kujua vile mnakula na hizi makucha zikiwa hivi.
Na zimetengeneza mako touch.
Mimi zinakaa ni kama. Lakini unaweza kula hii inaweza kula mchele poa. Hivi unachoka.
Wow. This for violence. Spaghetti. Oh, you just spaghetti them.
Kwa spaghetti kwanza unaifunga vizuri.
Mako touch kujawa watu by the way.
Listen. And your nails are done well. They're fantastic. They may hinder you from eating ugali, but they look awesome. Okay?
Thank you.
Whoever's done them, continue to do them for free.
Mako touch ati for free ama kulipo?
Free.
Si free, mtu ulipwa. Si ni kazi safi.
Sasa hiyo story kama
unanitetea kama dad.
Kama ni kulipa,
utalipa
tu kaenge kama baba yako hivi. Mungu bela.
So
those are cheap dad. Tuliwapeleka shule, makucha tena mnataka tuwatengeneze. Kwanza tuacha msiongee.
Usiongee vibaya. So dad, how do you feel by the way being a father? Being a father not only to me but also to legends like Churchill.
Okay.
You know, I've done my research definitely, and you're my dad, so I know you so well. And I know you left the field, sasa kina Churchill, aka Daniel Ndambuki, who is now a legend, like a household name. Akaichukulia sasa. So what do you feel as a dad? Because now you're a dad, not only to a beautiful daughter, but a legend.
Unajua kuna vitu mnanijazz. Unajua ukiita mtu household name, alafu kuna household goods. Okay, so Churchill is a household name, just like a household good, like your father. Don't joke.
So.
Okay. Yeah, but that's on a lighter note. It's
Yes.
supposed to make us smile and laugh.
Yes.
You know, there's nothing as beautiful as planting a seed that becomes. So as your father, other than the family achievement and seeing you guys grow up and seeing, you know, becoming who you are, there's also the element of imparting and inspiring other people to become the best that they are. So for me, it drives me on a triple I approach, where I'm grateful that I first inspired people by what I was doing. And so by them looking at what I'm doing, they got information. And by getting inspired and getting the information, then they became, which is impartation. So that means I transformed myself from just being your father to becoming that guy who inspires other people. They become me. So that aspect of first having the information that I've shared with people, they have seen I've done things to become who I am, they are being inspired, and they have become me. It's what I call the triple I effect. And so I'm grateful more than anything else that I have influenced or changed somebody's life through what I've done, through what I've said, through what I've shared. And that's what I hope this, you know, in this conversation with you is going to do. Get somebody out there to watch and say, we didn't just watch for the sake of, but I think there's something we've learned out of it. Yeah, to become.
Na venye sasa Churchill show imerudi, the biggest comedy show, stand-up comedy show in, I think it's in Africa or in the world.
Usiniulize kama anataka kurudi.
Sasa si kurudi dad. Mimi nauliza tu surprise.
Ndio usirudi.
Utatu surprise.
Kudu.
Like you just surprise like
Ndio surprise kwa letter gift ho. Any other surprise mnataka?
like no. Mafans wako wanataka kujua.
Mafans wangu ni nani?
Si mimi ni dota wako. Si ni sawa?
Yes, mafans wangu ni wale wanataka nikwe preso. So
lakini they are still enjoying your
nitakuwa preso mfan, nitakuwa preso.
But they're still enjoying your content dad.
Tunafanya serious stuff.
But they're still enjoying.
Wacha watch ile iko YouTube.
Si unajua kucheka pia inaongezanga miaka dad.
Yeah.
So kuchekesha mtu mzee sana anaongezewa miaka ingine.
Zile classics nimefanya.
Tunataka kitu fresh. Tunataka kuona live hivi.
That is what your dad does. He mentors people to become. So I'm not going to be the one clogging the system. Your father had a wonderful run. He became the best comedian in town. He inspired other comedians to be. And I will continue to, you know, create an environment. I'll continue to create an environment as your president for the creative sector, for young people to come up, for, you know, other comedians to come. But your father is not going to go back to the stage. Okay. I will go back to the stage through providing frameworks, policies, platforms that enable more young people to become like your father. But your father is not going to be clogging the system. Nikaa hizi politics tunafanya mse bado wako hapo 40 years later anafikiria yeye ndio the best that could be in a country. So country yetu inabidi inakaka old people's homes where after retirement is when you want to be president. You know, that's not the kind of thing that your father would do. Your father will continue to hand over the baton to other people to come.
Yeah.
No matter how graceful I think I was, no matter how great your father was on stage, no matter how funny your father is, he must allow other people to take that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a very sensitive question, which could be quite controversial.
Then see, cut the cameras.
No. No, simba hivyo.
Don't.
Simba
I
hivyo,
taught
Dad.
you well. We don't put sensitive things on camera.
Yeah. See, it's not. It's because it was
Yes.
in the public eye, so I must
Because
ask.
then it's not sensitive.
Okay, sawa.
What is public domain is
We can handle it.
Conversation lazima ishi. Lunch imekuwa by the way.
Lunch bado anakoroga.
Nasikia ubao. Hii interview inakuwa ngumu.
Hadi food inanukia tu.
Yeah, sema. What is this sensitive thing?
So, let me first ask it this way. Do you think grief hits somebody different when you're older or younger? That's why I said it's controversial because everyone has their opinion. But grieving. Do you think it hits when you've lost somebody you love?
Yes.
So do you think it hits different when you're young ama ukiwa mzee?
Okay, young is what age? When my grandfather
11,
died,
12, 13.
when my great-grandfather died, when my grandfather died, I think I was 4 years old. I was 5 years old. I barely remember what happened. But I saw people crying. I'm like, what's going on? And the grandpa is lying there, and I'm like, why is he lying there? You know, so as a young person, there are levels that you will not comprehend. And bring it even at 20. Depending on the relationship you have with somebody, the grief will be determined by that relationship you have with the person. So it's neither young or older, it's the relationship you have with the person. So it will hit you depending on how you relate with that person. I mean, there's an uncle old person and I feel so empathetic and I would send messages of poleni sana, but I don't have a connection with the person. So my grieving is not any less, but it doesn't have a personal connection. I would not understand what it feels when you lose your father, like we lost, you know, our father, your grandfather. When we lost him, there are those who are like, Paul Walter, you know, Paul, you've lost your dad. But I'm like, I know what relationship I had with the guy. So for me, it's personal. And it will never, the grieving will never end. Would I, you know, do I slump into some moments when it gets really dark because dad is no longer here? Yes. Are there days that I'm bubbly and moving on with life because I've got to live for him? So I think as much as it sounds a controversy, I don't think it's a controversy. We all grieve differently depending on the relationship we had with the departed. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah. Whether you're young or old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sasa tukiendelea kukula, so let's take a little break. Dad nimekupeleka mbio. I am sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. Sasa
she is hungry. Yeah. She wants to go for a break to eat. And so we will be right back, but we will show you what we are eating so that you can eat with us.
Na tuongelee pia depression.
Muna meza.
Okay.